Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
This episode of the 1836 podcast continues the Governors of Arkansas series and profiles the second governor of Arkansas, Archibald Yell. Archibald Yell was born on August 9, 1797 in Jefferson County, Tennessee, but some accounts place his birthplace across the border in North Carolina. He grew up on the rugged American frontier in the wake of the Revolution, receiving only a limited formal education. Largely self-taught, he absorbed law books and seized whatever schooling was available in remote settlements, forging a path toward public life. At the young age of 19, Yell answered the call to arms in the War of 1812. He enlisted in the 1st Regiment of Tennessee Volunteer Infantry and served under General Andrew Jackson, fighting bravely at the decisive Battle of New Orleans in January of 1815. That victory not only repelled the British, but also bound Yell in lifelong loyalty to Jackson, who would later shape his political career. After the war, Yell studied law in Tennessee, gained admission to the bar, and began practicing. Restless for the new horizons, he moved westward, first to Bedford County, Tennessee, and then in the early 1820s to the Arkansas Territory. He settled first in Fayetteville and soon in the growing river port of Little Rock, quickly rising as a lawyer and Democratic leader. In 1832, President Andrew Jackson appointed Yell as the territory's first federal judge. He soon stepped down to serve as a receiver of public monies at the Little Rock Land Office. When Arkansas entered the Union in 1836, Yell was elected its second governor, taking office at the age of 39 and serving until 1840. He championed roads, canals, public education, and a state banking system, but the banks collapsed during the Panic of 1837, leaving his administration scarred by financial turmoil. That same year in northern Arkansas, the settlement long known as Shawneetown became the county seat of the newly formed Marion County and was renamed Yellville in his honor. An old local tale claims Yell offered the townspeople $50 to make the change, though he never paid before his death. Leaving the governor's office, Yell won election to the United States House of Representatives in 1840 as Arkansas's sole congressman. He served until 1844, briefly resigned to run unsuccessfully for governor again, then returned to Congress in 1845. A fervent expansionist, he ardently supported the annexation of Texas and the brewing war with Mexico. When war erupted in 1846, the 50-year-old Yell could not stay on the sidelines. He personally raised and equipped the Arkansas Mounted Volunteers, was elected their colonel, and led the regiment south to join General Zachary Taylor's forces. On February 23, 1847, at the Battle of Buena Vista in northern Mexico, Taylor's outnumbered army faced a massive assault by General Santa Anna. As Mexican lancers charged, Yell's regiment wavered. Refusing to retreat, Colonel Yell led a desperate countercharge. His horse was shot from underneath him. Dismounted and sword in hand, he rallied his men until he was surrounded and pierced by multiple lances. Yell fell dead on the field, one of the highest-ranking American officers killed in the war. Initially buried on the battlefield, Yell's remains were later returned to Arkansas. He was laid to rest in Little Rock's Mount Holly Cemetery beneath a state-erected monument. Though often criticized for impulsiveness and dying deeply in debt, Archibald Yell embodied the bold spirit of the early Southwest. Yell County and the town of Yellville still bear his name, honoring a warrior politician who lived fast, fought hard, and met his end facing the enemy. The tale of the unpaid $50 to Yellville persisted for generations until 2005, when two of Yell's descendants, David Yell from Michigan and Sonny Yell from Georgia, visited Yellville and presented the city with a ceremonial gift of $50 on behalf of their ancestor, finally settling the long overdue bill. The descendants presented Mayor Janelle Kirkwood with a $50 cashier's check to fulfill their ancestor's promise. The mayor humorously calculated the amount with compounded interest to be over $800,000, but graciously waived the interest and accepted the original sum.